Hello dear children, I hope you all are fine. So today we are going to begin with our next chapter of the book An Alien Hand, and the name of the chapter is The Poe and the Anthem. Yes, what is the story about? This is the story of a man named Soapy. This is the story of a man named Soapy. Soapy is a homeless and jobless man. Alright, he doesn't have a home to live in and he doesn't have any job to do. So what does he do? He used to sleep in the park, but during the winter seasons, what did he used to do? Where did he go? What did he plan to do to have a place to rest in? Let us read the story and find out about this. But before beginning, I would like to ask you one question. That have you ever felt that what you think and what happens is completely different? Yes, most of the time this happens to us, and this is an embarrassing situation. This situation, when we think something else and something opposite of that happens, that is known as irony of situation. It means what we expect and what actually happens, both are completely different. This is known as irony of situation. The same happens with Soapy. What he thinks, what he plans and what he gets is completely opposite. Alright, so let us read the story.
Dear children, as we have discussed about the introduction of the chapter, let us now read the chapter. So, it is the story of Soapy, a homeless and jobless man. Now see what is happening to him. Soapy moved restlessly on his seat in Madison Square. Madison Square is the park in which he was sitting on a bench. There are certain signs to show that winter is coming. Birds begin to fly south. People want new warm coats, and Soapy moves restlessly on his seat in the park. When you see these signs, you know that winter is near. So winter season was approaching, winters were approaching, and Soapy was restless so as to find a place to get shelter during the cold winter season. A dead leaf fell at Soapy's feet. That was a special sign for him that winter was coming. It was time for all who lived in Madison Square to prepare. So all those homeless people who lived there, they needed to prepare themselves for the upcoming winter season. Soapy's mind now realized that fact, that he had to find certain place to live in. The time had come. He had to find some way to take care of himself during the cold weather, and therefore he moved restlessly on his seat. That is why he was restless, so as to which place he should go in the upcoming winters. Soapy's hopes for the winters were not very high. He was not thinking of sailing away on a ship. He was not thinking of going somewhere in a ship. He was not thinking of southern skies or of the Bay of Naples. 3 months in the prison on Blackwell's Island was what he wanted. So every time when winters came, what did Soapy do? He used to do something so that the police could catch him and they could imprison him for 3 months in the Blackwell's Island prison. 3 months of food every day. There he would get food also and a bed every night also. 3 months safe from the cold north wind and safe from the cops. So he would be safe over there in the prison, he thought. This is what Soapy wanted most in the world. So during the winter season, he wanted this the most. For years, Blackwell's Island had been his winter home. So I have told you that he had been doing the same thing in the winter season for so many years. Richer New Yorkers made their plans to go to Florida or to shore of the Mediterranean Sea each winter. So the richer New Yorkers means the rich people over there in New York, they used to plan to go to Florida because they had enough money, or they used to go to the Mediterranean Sea for spending their winter. Soapy made his small plans for going to the island. So he planned to go to that island prison. And now the time had come. 3 big newspapers, some under his coat and some over his legs, had not kept him warm during the night in the park. So what he had for the winter, no winter clothes he had, so he covered his body with 3 big newspapers and some over his legs and some under his coat, and that did not kept him warm because it would not do that. So Soapy was thinking of the island. There were places in the city where he could go and ask for food and a bed. These would be given to him. He could move from one building to another also, and he would be taken care of through the winter. But he liked Black Winds Island better. He said that he thought that he could beg also. He could beg from people for some food or some place to rest in, and people would provide them. Okay, people would provide these things, but they would ask certain questions, certain personal questions to Soapy that he did not like. So he preferred to go to the Blackwell's Island prison. Soapy's spirit was proud. If he went to any of these places, there were certain things he had to do. He had to do some work also if somebody was providing him shelter or food. In one way or another, he would have to pay for what they gave him. Yes, he would have to do their service either. They would not ask him for money, but they would make him wash his whole body. And they would say that first you take a bath, you must look better. They would make him answer questions. They would ask certain questions of his personal life. They would want to know everything about his life. No, prison was better than that. Soapy thought that prison was a better place than these things. The prison had rules that he would have to follow. Certain rules are there in the prison as well that he would follow. But in prison, a gentleman's own life was still his own life. Means there was nobody to question about his life in the prison. So Soapy, having decided to go to the island, at once began to move towards his desire. So he started to plan something so that he could go to the Blackwell's Island. Now, what did Soapy plan to do? So, for going to the prison, a person has to do something that is against the law. So, he does his best to be on the wrong side of the law, to break the law. He tries 3 tricks but all in vain. See how he will try to do these things and get imprisoned, but all the tricks will fail. And the fear that no cope will ever catch him makes him sick at heart. And he feels very annoyed that no cop is catching him, and where would he spend his winter? Alright, let us read. There were many easy ways of doing this. To break the rules is easy. Yes, the most pleasant way was to go and have a dinner at some fine restaurant. So he was planning to go at some big restaurant, some well-known restaurant, and then he would say that he had no money to pay, and then a cop would be called and it would all be done very quietly. The cop would arrest him and he would be taken to a judge, and the judge will do the rest. The judge would take him give him the punishment of imprisonment. So Soapy left his seat and walked slowly out of Madison Square to the place where the great street called Broadway and Fifth Avenue meet. He went across this wide space and started north on Broadway. He stopped at a large and brightly lighted restaurant. This was where the best food and the best people in the best clothes appeared every evening. So he went to a very well-known restaurant. Soapy believed that above his legs he looked alright. So he looked alright, but his face was clean, his coat was good enough. If he could get to the table, he believed that success would be his. That all he wanted to do is take a table over there and eat something. So this part of him that would be seen above the table would look alright, because from bottom. He was not looking appropriate. He had tattered shoes. So the waiter would bring him what he would ask for. Alright, he began thinking of what he would like to eat. So he started thinking about what he should eat, and in his mind he could see the whole dinner also. The cost would not be too high. He did not want the restaurant people to feel any real anger. So he did not want that the restaurant owner should feel the real anger. Simply, he said that the cost will be alright, and if I didn't pay, they will call the police and they will not beat me. But the dinner would leave him filled and happy for the journey to his winter home. He wanted to have dinner, a good dinner, before going to the prison. But as Soapy put his foot inside the restaurant door, the head waiter saw his broken old shoes and the torn clothes that covered his legs. So, as soon as he started going inside the restaurant, the head waiter saw him, and he could very well recognize that he was not capable enough to dine in that restaurant. So strong and ready hands turned Soapy around and moved him quietly and quickly outside again. So he called other waiters and they threw him outside the restaurant. Soapy turned off the Broadway. Sophie came back. It seemed that this most way of going to the island was not to be his. So he said that this plan has not worked out. He must think of some other plan. At the corner of the 6th Avenue was a shop with a wide glass window. There was a shop with a glass window, bright with electric lights. So Soapy picked up a big stone and he threw at the glass. He threw the stone at the glass so that the people would come and they would call a cop. People came running around the corner and a cop was first among them. So a cop was there in the street and he came running over there. Soapy stood still and he smiled when he saw the cop. So Soapy was again thinking that the cop would arrest him because he has thrown a stone at them, at the glass. Where is the man that did that? Asked the cop. So the cop asked, where is the man that has done this? Don't you think that I might have done it? Said Soapy. Soapy simply said that because he wanted to go to the prison, so he said, I have done this. Don't you feel so? He was friendly and happy. What he wanted was coming towards him. So what Soapy was desiring was coming. So he was happy. But the cop's mind would not consider Soapy. But the cop did not believe that Soapy has broken that window. So the men who breaks the window do not stop there to talk to cop, because nobody ever just says that I have done this. If somebody has done something wrong, nobody ever admits that. They run as fast as they can, the cop is saying. The cop saw a man further along the street running, and there was some other man who was running because of some other reason, and the cop thought that that particular man who was running across the street, he had broken the window. So the cop ran after him, and Soapy, sick at heart, walked slowly away because he had failed 2 times. So across the street was another restaurant. It was not so fine as the one on the Broadway. It was not as beautiful and as fine as the one that was on the Broadway. The people who went there were not so rich. They were ordinary people, common people, middle class people. Its food was not so good. Into this Soapy took his old shoes and his torn clothes, and no one stopped him. So he decided to once again apply his trick and get imprisoned. Alright, so he went there and nobody stopped him from entering the restaurant because of his old and tattered clothes. So he sat down at a table and was soon eating a big dinner. And when he had finished, he said that he had no money. So get busy and call a cop, said Soapy. Soapy said that go and call a cop. And don't keep a gentleman waiting. Alright, so call a cop and get me arrested. I have no money to pay the bill. Said the waiter, No cob for you. He called another waiter. So the particular waiter to whom Soapy told that he had no money, so he called another waiter and they did not call the police. The two waiters threw Soapy upon his left ear on the hard street outside, so they threw him out. He stood up slowly, one part at a time, and beat the dust from his clothes. So he stood up slowly and he beat down the dust that covered his clothes. Prison seemed only a happy dream. Now he was very much disappointed, and prison was looking like a dream to him. The island seemed very far away. He was very much disheartened. A cook who was standing near laughed and walked away. Soapy started moving again, and when he stopped, he was near several theaters. Now he was near the several theaters. Theaters were there. In this part of the city, streets are brighter and hearts are more joyful than the other parts. Why? Because many youngsters they used to come to these theaters for watching movies. So this part was more brighter and joyful. Women and men in rich warm coats moved happily in the winter air. So a sudden fear caught Soapy. No cop was going to arrest him. He was thinking that no cop was arresting him. What would he do in this winter season? So then he came to another cop who was standing in front of a big theater. So he tried to do something else. He had to go to the Blackwell's Island prison in one way or the other. So his mind started making new idea. What he started doing? He began to shout as if he had too much to drink. Okay, so he began to shout like he was drunk, and his voice was as loud as he could make. He was just shouting near those theaters. He danced and he cried out as he was a madman. And the cop turned his back to Soapy and said to a man standing near him, "It is one of those college boys. He won't hurt anything. We have orders to let them shout." But once again, the things that he was imagining, opposite of that happened, and the cop did not say anything to him, thinking him as a college boy. And college boys were they were allowed to shout near the theaters because of excitement. Soapy was quiet now. Was no cop going to touch him or catch him? He began to think of the island as if it was far away as a star. So he started thinking about the island which was appearing to him as far away as a star. He pulled his thin coat around him. The wind was very cold. Then he saw a man in a shop buying a newspaper. A man was buying a newspaper near a shop, and the man's umbrella stood beside the door. It was near the door. Soapy stepped inside the shop. Once again, he started to plan and he executed his plan on the spot. So Soapy stepped inside the shop, took the umbrella and walked slowly away. He tried to steal that umbrella so that the man would call a cop. The man followed him quickly. As soon as he stole that umbrella, the man followed him quickly and said, "My umbrella, my umbrella." "Oh, is it?" said Soapy. "Why don't you call a cop?" Soapy once again said, "Call a cop." "I took it, your umbrella. Why don't you call a cop? There is one standing at the corner." Soapy is himself saying that one police officer is standing at the corner. Please go and call him. I have stolen your umbrella. The man walked more slowly. Soapy did the same. So the man who was running behind that umbrella owner, he started moving slowly as soon as he heard the word cop. Okay, so Soapy also started walking slowly, but he had a feeling that he was going to fail again. Soapy was having a feeling that he is going to fail. The cop looked at the two men. "Aye," said the umbrella man, "that is, you know how these things happen. If that is your umbrella, I am very sorry. I found it this morning in a restaurant. If you say it's yours, I hope you will." "It's mine," cried Soapy with anger in his voice. So the man who was holding the umbrella near the newspaper shop, it was stolen by him. He himself was a thief, and that is why he was fearing from the cope. And in front of the cope, he said to Soapy that if it is yours, you keep this umbrella. So once again, the cope helped a lady across the street, and Soapy walked east. Nothing happened as Soapy has imagined, as Soapy wished should happen. At last, Soapy came to one of the quiet streets on the side of the city. So he came to the side of the city, he was on a road, and he turned here and began to walk southward, and he was going home, although home was only a seat in the park. Now he had no home, he was homeless. Where should he go? So he once again started moving towards the park. But at a very quiet corner, Soapy stopped. He stopped somewhere. He saw something. Here was his old childhood home. He saw his own home. Through one window, he could see a soft light shining. The light was shining inside the hall. So he could see that. That had been his living room. The room where light was shining, the shine was coming. That had been his room where he had spent many peaceful, happy moments. Sweet music came to Soapy's ears and seemed to hold him there. So he was fascinated at the scene of his old childhood home. The moon was above, peaceful and bright. There were few people passing. It was, I think, night time, evening time or night time. He could hear birds high above him, and the music that came from the room held Soapy there, for he had known it well long ago. It was the music of the piano, which he also used to play. In those days, his life contained such things and mothers and flowers and high hopes and friends and clean thoughts and clean clothes. He was a well reputed man. There was a sudden and wonderful change in his soul. So, on seeing his old home, his childhood home, his soul got transformed, and now he will decide something. He saw with sick fear how he had fallen. Now he realized how he had fallen down from such a big position. He saw his worthless days, his wrong desires, his dead hopes, the lowest part of his mind. He now realized how his false hopes had made him roam in this condition, in tattered clothes, with no home and with no job. Now, in a moment, his heart answered this change in his soul. His soul got transformed. He would now fight to change his life. He decided that he would change his life. He would pull himself up out of the mud. He will pull himself out of that mud, out of that bad condition, worst condition, miserable condition into which he had fallen. He would make a man of himself again. So there was time. He was young enough. He would find his old purpose in life and follow it. He wanted that he should recognize his purpose and he would follow it. That sweet music had changed him. Tomorrow he would find some work. So now he got transformed. Instead of thinking about going to the prison for the 3 months of winter season, he now decided that he would do some work. A man had once offered him a job. Now he would find that man tomorrow and he would be somebody in the world. He would. So Soapy felt a hand on his arm. So somebody just interrupted Soapy in his thoughts. He interrupted Soapy while he was thinking. He looked quickly around to see who was that who had placed an arm around his hand. So this was a cope. A cope will now ask, "What are you doing hanging around here?" asked the cope. "Nothing," said Soapy. "You think I believe that?" said the cope. Full of his new strength, Soapy began to argue. "And it is not wise to argue with the New York cop. So come along," said the cop. 3 months prison on Blackwell's Island, said the judge to Soapy in the next morning. So what happened? The cop thought that the man that Soapy is thinking of doing, burgling or planning something mischievous, standing in front of that house at such point of time. So when Soapy was thinking about changing his life, thinking of changing his wrong desires into positive ones. This happened, and the cop did not listen to him, and once again the cop misinterpreted Soapy. So this is how what happened to Soapy, what he had desired and what he had wished should happen, completely opposite of that happened, and this is known as irony of situation.